Hey friends and family, I've been trying to play games with people for a long time. I've been playing co-op and online free-to-play MMO games, for like over a decade. And I'm letting you know, it's kind of hard. And if you run your own Discord, you have your own friend group, I mean, hopefully, but it's freaking hard, right? Let's be real, 95, 99, 120% of free games, your friends, they kind of don't want to play. Sometimes you have to make them, sometimes they're real deep cuts, but I actually found 7, curated a list just for you that I'm pretty freaking confident that they actually will play and will have a good time. And yet they're underrated games. Look, you need a list video. You need inspiration. Share this around to your friends. See what they think. If you guys find a game off the list, you're welcome. Just, join the Discord. Also, if you don't have a friend group, that's okay. The Video Game Party Club has got you. Oh yeah, and while we're doing shoutouts, quick shout out to a game I'm publishing actually. This is why we don't play golf, which has got a free demo right now if you like co-op games. But this is gonna be games for like whole parties of people, 4, 6, maybe even more, that you can actually jump into and have a freaking adventure over a weekend or even longer. So if you're ready for that, dude, let's have fun with a list video. Now, this is all just fun and games, but Guild Wars 2 is a serious game. It is dense, it is big, it is an MMORPG. You can go in this alone and make friends, sure, but we're talking about co-op games to play with your friends. I'm talking 4 players, 5 players, maybe even making a whole guild. This is the MMO and the only one on the list that is properly, massively multiplayer. Guild Wars 2 is a game that has a single player / cooperative cinematic storyline. It's got an open world to explore that's not just killing things. In fact, a lot of it is very goofy and very friend sloppy. There's even peek at home elements where you're just kind of climbing mountains and stuff and doing parkour jumping puzzles. Sure, you can just jump around and do the PvP. You can do the end game or the dungeoneering. They're expansions and those are paid for, but the pure free-to-play experience is not a demo. Okay, like World of Warcraft. It is not so limited like Final Fantasy where you can't even party with your friends, and it's not as deep cut and weird and niche in anime as a bunch of other MMOs. This is a game everyone is going to have at least a freaking fun time in. Doesn't matter what classes you play, what your team composition is, you're gonna have an immense, amazing, very D&D kind of experience, especially as you level and do the dungeons for the first time. In fact, this is the MMO that I regularly have game invasions for. So it's just 12 to 20, maybe even more people. We just jump in yearly and play Guild Wars 2 from 1 to whatever, and it's just always a treat. That is the best way to play this game. You can go solo, if you just need a cool game to play to make friends, but dude, Guild Wars 2, jumping in with a party and just kind of having a very Dungeons and Dragons mentality, you're gonna have so much fun. And I think it's underrated for that because there's so many ways you can play this game, and in so many of those ways, no, it's not an esport, and no, it's not a end game rating, I guess kind of guild boss rush kind. No, it's not World of Warcraft. Okay, it's not freaking League of Legends. It's not a lot of things, but what it is kind of an amazing experience for just a fun how to train your dragon sort of, adventure. But next, I would love to bring you into the Tavern, of course. Bronzebeard's Tavern is basically what if you did a D&D session, except it was just managing a tavern. And there's not really roleplay elements. It's just, in the fantasy setting. So you're dwarves, and then there's you gotta serve goblins and all sorts of other stuff. I don't want to spoil it. You can even hire different entities, creatures and things and people to help manage. It's not a cooking game. I know it looks kind of like a cooking game. It kind of looks like Overcooked. It's kind of not Overcooked. Even though it's silly and wacky, and dude, I think it's up to 6 players. It's insanity in terms of the physics and things, but it's really kind of not a engrossing cooking experience. It's really more of just a serving and management kind of thing, which it's pretty rare. I mean, aside from Played Up and a few niche cooking games, you don't really get this sort of management, sort of custom experience where it's okay, I need to actually seat the people. Is somebody seating him? Did somebody get his order? Where's this guy's food? Dude, this guy, it's crazy. It gets insane, and I really appreciate it for that. The more, the merrier. I think it honestly makes it more hectic, but dudes, Bronzebeard's Tavern, I can't believe this hasn't crossed my radar. I just recently played it, had such a gem of a time, hidden gem, absolutely. Please play this game. Next up, I want to talk about One-Armed Robber, if we're going to talk about simulation games. Now, One-Armed Robber also has a sister game called One-Armed Chef. Super fun too, recommend that as well, but One-Armed Robber is one that kind of stole my heart and sort of takes the place of I don't know, thief game on this list. I don't know, what is that even a genre? Heidi and Steely and I don't know. One-Armed Robber is really cool because the more people you have, the more mayhem that can also occur, but also the more strategy that you can actually implement. If you try to play this game solo, it's awkward. Play it with 2 people people, it's fun, it's silly, but like more than that, genuinely you get like a freaking like heist situation going on. And I think the gimmick is really right on the nose. Or the arm. It's one arm. You're a one-armed robber. That's what you do. You only have one arm, and it's going to be clunky and strange. But in doing that, it's very like intention filled, where every little thing that you do, you really kind of feel the elements. And I love that, especially in this versus the cooking game, because the cooking game, it's like clunky and it's like, that's silly. But in the robbery game, it really feels kind of tactical and like ninja like. And I really appreciate that. And when someone messes up, it's so very difficult to kind of like kind of reconcile the situation, because you only got one arm and you're like flailing around, and dude, it's ridiculous. But honestly, like in terms of heist games, it's even regardless of free to play or the co-op elements, I kind of dig it. Now I'm a little bit of a stealth gamer myself. My favorite is actually Dark Messiah Might and Magic. Super underrated. I'm a big hidden gem kind of guy. Anyways, this game, I mean, look, I know some people know of it, but I don't think people realize like how fun it is when you just get the group in and play for a weekend. Now, normally games like this, they're not very fun. Like if you constantly mess up, or somebody's not really in the know, or they don't know all the mechanics, or they can't aim really good. Dude, it doesn't matter. This is one of those games where it's like the more people, then people are messing up and everything. It's just watch the insanity happen. It's just one of this is probably like a precursor to Friend Slop, but it really deserves a spot on that list as well. As like, dude, just a great game to play in your Discord. Okay, yeah, on halfway on the list, I'm going to talk about Team Fortress 2. I'm not going to take up too much of your time because you think you know Team Fortress 2, but I'm going to kind of reconfirm that you don't, or that you forgot, that you need to remember that this game is freaking amazing. This game's probably going to last for the end of time. I mean, we had Overwatch, we have Marvel Rivals, we have now countless new free-to-play FPSs, and Team Fortress 2 still stands strong as the Team Fortress 2. I mean, there's no other game that really kind of does this. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it does and why it's extra special. It's because this isn't an esport. This is a game that almost reminds me of like Battlefield in some ways, or there's certain other titles where it's like, it's really less, maybe Grand Theft Auto 2, it's really less about winning, and it's more like winning with style, and sometimes debatably not even about winning. It's just about stunting. It's just about goofing off. Sometimes, dude, there are lobbies where people just dance and chat. And I really do love the sort of server community feel of this too. So if you are looking for another game kind of similar to Guild Wars 2 where you can make friends, dude, Team Fortress 2 absolutely is one of those games. I appreciate this because you can just have a whole wealth of people. You can even have a whole server if you have a larger friend group in Discord. Absolutely. Team Fortress 2 is, oh my God, I just could nerd about it. This was the first game I ever played on PC. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting a little teary-eyed thinking about it. Me, back in the day in college for game design, and the first game I ever downloaded on my MacBook, by the way, was Team Fortress 2. And what a time that was. All the different characters, the customization, the wackiness, the rocket jumping, the pyro flamethrowing. Oh, there's a spy, or it's chef's kiss. It's amazing, and it's just a silly time where Overwatch can get a little too serious. Marvel Rivals as well can get a little too serious. Team Fortress 2, forever and always, is just what Team Fortress 2 is. Also, bonus point, nobody ever talks about it, but I kind of really like the seasonal events a ton. Like, they're just really wacky game modes that you can jump into, and Man vs. Machine is a really cool, like, horde versus mode, which I think, yeah, nobody talks about it. I guess you can run through it in a weekend, but it's still genuinely amazing. Honestly, it's harder to convince people to play Overwatch and Marvel Rivals than it is Team Fortress 2. You can just be like, oh, dude, no, it's silly. Just like, let's have a wacky time, man. Done. Okay, honestly, I haven't played this in a little bit, but it's spooky season, so I'm going to. And if you guys want to play with me, please join the Discord, the Video Game Party Club, links in the description. I need more people to play with. SCP Secret Laboratory. I played this, I remember just like thinking, oh man, it's just going to be a little meme game or whatever. Maybe it's going to be like a little Roblox game, which by the way, honestly, a lot of freaking amazing Roblox games. If you guys have any that would fit this list, dude, let us know in the comments below, Roblox or otherwise. But SCP Secret Laboratory has just consistently had sort of like a niche user base. So this game is kind of weird, and normally maybe I would want to put a game like Among Us on here, but that's just so obvious, right? Or a game that's like Among Us but like underrated. But SCP does something extra special, which makes it extra underrated, and that's the fact that when you play a game like Among Us or freaking whatever, I think the problem comes when like you don't have enough people, right? Like 4 people, 5 people, you kind of want more for those kind of games. SCP kind of solves that, and probably is another game that you could probably make friends with. But you jump into a server, into a lobby with your friend group. Maybe you could just run it down if you want to. But and then like you have like different factions. So it's not just like a bunch of innocent people and then one monster. It's like multiple monsters, which then the monsters themselves are like really unique. If you guys know SCPs, then you know like how weird they can get with unique powers and oftentimes the ability to talk to the other players on the enemy teams. By the way, enemy teams, because there's more factions than even just like scientists. You might even have the military group, and who knows? I don't know. Like a lot has changed with this game and been updated so that it's really a refined and kind of interesting culture, I think. Alone from that, even just like getting people absorbed into the SCP, which it itself is a community curated, created, like creature, I don't know, bestiary sort of like lore thing. So it itself, the whole concept is just completely collaborative. The fact then that it's free to play, people can join in and really participate and live in this universe together. Your friends and family, dude, it is such like, if there was a spot for a good, awesome free to play game that's underrated that your friends are gonna wanna play, you're gonna have so much fun playing this game. Versus other games are a little more arduous, a little more too scary, a little more too vulgar, a little too intense, or, you know, challenging. This is just fun. You know, it's Among Us on steroids, and yet at the same time, it's just gonna, dude, when things go wrong, it goes wrong so right, and I just have to, you know, geek out about it. And yeah, as soon after you guys play it, you're gonna geek out about it too and tell other people. And before you know it, this game or another on this list will become probably a regular for the Cord. Okay, so talking about a regular game is a game that's actually super popular, and yet it's kind of in a way underrated. So that's going to be Brawlhalla. I know what this game looks like. Shut up and just try it out. It's a silly game, and yet it's like more approachable, I think, than something like Smash, which Smash is so popular. But man, this genre just really hasn't had a limelight. And I think honestly, even fighting games in general just don't get championed enough. You know, they die so quickly. Even like super like known games like Tekken, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, they're not as popular as they really should be. I'm not gonna rant too much on that. Brawlhalla, dude, is just a fun, basically party game. It is also an esport, don't get me wrong. It definitely has that ability, but it's just so easy to just jump in, pick a cool character that looks neat, and just press some buttons and just have a hoot and a holler. If you're looking for a more lighter experience, but it's still repeatable and still has a skill ceiling, I think Brawlhalla is a cool game. Like if you, okay, here's an idea. If you can't decide which game out of this list to play, everyone picks a game that they want to play, and then you go into Brawlhalla and brawl it out. Whoever wins, you get to play their game first. I think that's just a great way to do it. Anyways, yeah, it's like Smash, but it actually differentiates itself a lot by having a weapon system and some other minute little nerdy fighting game stuff, but whatever. Brawlhalla, it's just neat, and more people need to play this game because I need to see more free-to-play fighting games take off. Brawlhalla was released a long time ago, but it has really hung on, and I think it's a testament to just being a solid, fun game, period, for, you know, competitively, and also just for a bunch of probably drunk dudes on Discord to jam out. And finally, don't click off just yet, guys. Dark and Darker. No, seriously, I'm going to tell you why it's amazing. No, I mean it. Seriously, don't stop. Dark and Darker has shifted from being a PvP focused game, or I mean, you can play it in this way, where it's actually more PvE focused. There literally is now a PvE mode. Now more than ever, it is also like expansive. Like there's lots of weird and interesting and fun boss fights, levels, and I think a kind of like an introductory level. Like it's like easier to get into it now than ever, thanks to the PvE, as well as thanks to the tier of the sort of dungeons and levels. Almost like if there was a CR value, like in Dungeons and Dragons, for the dungeons, you can just do the smaller, like Goblin Cave, and then you go to like the Ice Caves, and then so on and so forth. It's pretty great. I also really like the customization and the new classes. All that is super fun. Now, if you look at the reviews, mixed reviews right now, but there is no other game like this. If you need like a game that, to me, this is hard, it is challenging, it is biting, where every other game on this list can be, you know, more wacky and silly, but Dark and Darker, the difficulty is definitely part of the mayhem. It's silly. It's friend slot. Like, think of Peak. Peak is not an easy game. Peak is insane, okay? Like, honestly, I haven't even gotten to the end of it, and I'm kind of like a climber in real life, and like, I love parkour and stuff. Dude, Dark and Darker is the same way, okay? So it's challenging, it's weird, it's wacky, it's like dark fantasy, and you're meant to die over and over and over again. And you get in with your friend group, and you're just gonna have a great time, at least if you play PvE. Now, it's not gonna be for everyone all of the time, but I think every single person some of the time would enjoy the experience of what this is, which is genuinely just like, hey guys, let's get together and let's see how far we can get in Dark and Darker, dudes. I think if you have a more like Scooby-Doo mentality where it's like, it's not gonna work out, dude, It's going to be a lot of fun. Honestly, some of the most fun co-op games I've ever played, from like Overcooked, right? Or even on this list, right? Like One Armed Robber, SCP Secret Laboratory also. They're not easy games, you know, but like sometimes the insanity of it all really makes it. And no game better is underrated as like a cooperative, you know, player versus environment experience in Dark and Darker because, well, the PvE is kind of newer and a lot of people review this game as like a PvP esports sort of experience. Nah, dude, just think of it as like an insane experiment, like Dungeons and Dragons, like dungeon crawl, because that's what it is. I really like it for a friend group game because you get to see all the different classes that people might pick up. They might see them play in certain ways, and you get into really intense situations that really shows the color of their souls, better or worse. It is my wish to you, friend, for you and your friend group to have a very arduous and wonderful adventure in Dark and Darker. And with that, this is the end of my curated 7 underrated free-to-play games that your friends will probably actually want to play. Experiences that I know that your friend group will kind of grow closer because of it. So if you guys have any other that you want to add on, please let us know in the comments or join the Discord. Once again, the Video Game Party Club. That's what it's all about. Let's party up. Let's look for group LFG. Let's go. Much love, friends and family. I'll see you in the next one.